name is Sunday Peter Dong. I'm, I'm known as Sapi. I'm a farmer based in Enugu State. Although I equally have another one at Anambra. I am into rice farming. Although I don't only farm rice, I equally farm cassava. I farm yam. These are the major products, and rice. These are the major products I farm in Enugu. My farm space is about 50 hectares of rice farm. Then yam is just about 2 hectares. Then cassava, I have cassava over 30 hectares of rice cassava farm. These are the major crops I deal on. My rice is called Sapi Premium Quality rice. We have our mill in very standard mill. It's a complete value chain from processing to packaging. Went into farming in 2016. That was when I entered into farming. This is my 6th year in farming, and it's been ups and downs. In fact, if you're not determined, maybe in the first 2-3 years, you might decide to say you're not doing it again. Because I know in the first 2 years, I almost lost everything I put in. In fact, some of the people that started with me as at that time backed off. Farming can be stressful. Yes, it can be stressful. It's something that has to do with time. It's time bound. When you begin to race against time in farming, you may not like it because all these crops have seasons and time you need to do them. So if you don't time them well and if you don't do them at that appropriate time, you might be racing against time, and at the end of the day, you might not get the desired yield you're looking at. And all of those things can be discouraging, by the time you put in so much and at the end of the day, um, you're not there. And at the same time, if you don't prepare your land well and put the right crops, follow the right procedures, and all of those things, the yield you might get might not be encouraging. So those things are things that equally discourage people, most especially youths in farming. But one of the key things that kept me going all this while is determination and focus. I've determined and I was focused and I was not ready to back out, no matter what I see. Because the love for what I was doing was really what kept me going. Set it right. I can't wait for the next season to do the right thing, and all of those things. I kept on learning, and now I can say we're moving, and God is helping us. Opportunity to go into the farming. I said I had the opportunity because since it was something that I was already looking forward for doing. When I saw a chance of having a piece of land, I quickly grabbed it, and that was how it all started. It was really stressful getting land then, but I persevered. It took me months going to and fro to villages looking for farm settlements to start off my farm. And as God would have it, and I finally got one, and though it was small then, but I started up that with that small one, and today it has grown into something very big. So it was actually a gradual process. To farming because I love farming. I wanted to be a farmer. I've always wanted to be a farmer. But aside that, I equally realized that we are lacking in this part of the country. Youths no longer go into farming. They don't love farming, and we need to feed ourselves. We need to be able to feed ourselves. So for me, it was apart from loving farming and having passion to be a farmer, I equally felt it's lacking in the country farmers are already lacking. Commercial farmers are lacking, and we need to encourage the youths to go into farming. And when they see youths like them going into farming and doing well, I believe it will equally motivate them. So what I tell youths out there too is that they should equally think of farming. Farming is something really, really lucrative. There's so many aspects in farming. It's not just going to the farm and all of those. There's so many value chain in farming. If you're not directly doing it, you're indirectly doing it. But we need to. Before now, they used to say farming is it's hard and all of those things. Everybody have their own idea and what they think about it. But it's something that if you can come in and do it in a mechanized way, you find out that it's less stress and a lot of things that you can use to make the farm work very easy are already in place. Before now, you have to use hand to be removing the weed. You can imagine about 20 hectare of rice farm, weeding them with hand. It's a whole lot of work. But now with chemical, called selective, that is not harmful to the rice, to just kill the weed and leave the rice for you. With that, in less than 2 3 hours, you're done with the weeding and you're out of the farm. So I wish the young ones can actually look in that direction because we need to start feeding ourselves. And beyond feeding ourselves, we need to start exporting our agri products. That comes with farming, just like I talked about earlier. You know, in farming, there are seasons and there are time for every crops. The moment you miss anyone, you begin to race against time, and that's a major challenge when you don't have the fund to do it at that particular time, and maybe the time elapses and you're still trying to do it. It may not give you the desired yield. That's one major challenge. And of course, funds too can be challenged. Then workers can be challenged. Um, Getting tractors to do your work can be very challenging. You know, these are things that come up, but we persevered because it's something we have to do. We have to find a way around to get these things going. There's so many challenges, but if you focus on the challenge, maybe you might not even be able to go have a headway. But things come up and you always find a way around. But one of the major challenges that one will always have to find a way to overcome it is the challenge of time and season. Having what you need at every point in time to use it and farm. If it's time for land processing, you do it. If it's time for clearing the land, you do it. If it's time for seeding, you seed. If you get all those things at the appropriate time, then surely you will get your desired results. It's when you don't meet up with those things and you start racing against time, it becomes more difficult. The challenges are not really something that will pull one back. Process of farming rice. There's so many ways one can farm rice, but majorly the three major one will practice here is direct seeding, there's transplanting, and there's broadcasting. All right, these are the two major ways one can plant rice. After you must have prepared your land, turned the soil, cleared your land. If you're doing direct seeding, you do your direct seeding. If you're doing your broadcasting, you broadcast. If you're doing your transplanting, before then you must have done your nursery. Then after like 2 3 to 1 month, you transplant into the rice field. That's after you have finished preparing the land. Then after the seeding, but what I do majorly is broadcasting. So I'll stay more on that one. After you've done broadcasting, after like 1 to 2 weeks, you're done broadcasting. You do weeding. After the weeding, maybe in the next 2 weeks, you apply fertilizer and you wait for your yield. Of course, you check your farm time to time to make sure there are no insects and all of those things. Of course, there's another challenge in it where you have to keep watching birds from coming to eat your rice. Those are one of the biggest challenge in the rice farm, because you have to always watch and make sure that birds don't come and eat your seed, even when you're doing the seeding and when your rice have started coming out. You must watch birds from coming to eat it. Rice is very, very profitable. Very, very, very. It's a very, very profitable business. For one, we know that almost all the home in this country and even beyond, it's each rice more than 2 to 3 times in a week. So the consumption of rice, we've not matched the demand. So there's always a demand for rice. There's always a demand for rice. So as long as you have rice, you must sell it. And it's not a product that you say it's spoiling. You can keep rice for a year if you process it very well. You can keep it for a year. So it's a very, very profitable business. There's so many value chain that one can tap from. If you're not doing the direct farming, you can be doing the buying off from farmers. That's buying off the paddy from farmers. You can go into processing. You can go into distributing. There's so many value chain in rice. So, but we as a farmer, we farm, we process, and we sell to the retailers. There's so many. This if you do it well, okay. Of course, we know in farming you must have to find a way to curtail on your expenditure. So that at the end of the day, your yield will be able to match up with what you have expended. But it's a very profitable business generally if you do the right thing. As a farmer, one of the major challenge we have in this side of the country is fund. Fund is a major challenge because when you don't have fund to buy the equipment like the tractor, as a rice farmer, you need a tractor to be able to plow and hallow your land at the appropriate time. You need fertilizer. Rice is a heavy feeder, so you must always apply fertilizer. There are um, a few approved chemicals we use for weeding. Those things cost money. So sometimes, why people go extinct, today they are farmers, tomorrow they are packed up, is because of this fund. So it's I wish our government is helping in these areas to make things easy. But fund is a major challenge as a farmer, because when you have the fund